of our leadership. And then I'm going to share with you some challenges, but I don't share them as we tend to do. We'd say, hey, I share them to say, no, we must make it. We are government, you are lawmakers, you are smart people. In the first 100 days, EPTC, one of our parastatals, has been able to roll out over 2,500 houses, 700 to be specific, but in the main 2,500. We've been able to rehabilitate 4 transmitters. We've been able to ensure that there's access to radio in various areas like Ndondozi, Tlatikulu, Stegi, and to be able to install transmitters in those areas. We've just signed an MOU with the Taiwanese government to give the entire city of Mbabane 5G for all of government. And we will expand it throughout the country. What this means is it's the beginning of creating a smart country. It's the beginning of ensuring that we are installing what other countries have not gotten to. And we know that within the next 18 months, this will be fully implemented. We've been able to provide broadcasting equipment to Eswatini TV. We've been able to strengthen some of our departments by employing and appointing new boards. What we've done in the appointment of boards, just so that portfolio members understand, we kind of changed the system. We didn't hire who's who or who's known. We hired who can work. We hired who can give us clean management. We've hired people who will be responsible in ensuring that our parastatals work as they should. I'm not going to lie to you. I came into a situation where there's a lot of sickness with many of our companies. So we need to clean from the top to the bottom. So hiring these boards of these experienced, credible people was very critical for us to start the journey of cleansing ourselves, of running government as if it matters, of running government responsibly. Asikafika hulumende kutokweba, sitosebenzele maswati. We have not come to these positions to steal from those who have less than we do. We have come to enrich them. So when we leave after our terms are finished, they are better off. And that makes us better people. The habit that I seem to see of thinking the positions are a road to wealth, sifo lesibi maswati. Lama positions lawa are an honor, and we must make them honorable. Nabati honorable Savannah, be honorable. Stulo maustete, be worthy of the stulo. So we start ensuring, Gutsi, from those we hire on boards, we have people who are credible, who are knowledgeable, who have the best interest of the organization. You will hear how terrible we are. But we're happy to have that badge, because in the end, these organizations will serve eMaswati. In the end, these things we do will move us to first world status. It is my absolute commitment to move us to first world status. It will be not a good job well done if we don't do that, especially being in ICT. So part of continuing of the 100 days was training skills kamanzini, was ensuring in elderly communities, we train them, because when we roll out our strategy, we want even the elderly to be able to utilize them. We want to be able to be all inclusive, bring everybody into the system, to train even data controllers. Training doesn't end, Maswatla Mahle. We will continue to train the entire country. We want us to be a learning country. When ICT starts to come in a really major way, we want us to be a learning country. We've been able, Sahamba, Saya, to 2 schools at the beginning of the year, at the end of January. Bastela Gutsi, they don't have computer labs or computers, and we're able to build those labs for them and supply them with 70 computers. We've also been going around to promote STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths, to various schools and children and various women's organizations, because I do, and I am a believer, that the coming century or the coming decades are going to be women's and children's decades. I think we've got to promote them. The idea that we are not equal does not sit well with me, so it is part of my commitment to ensure that women and the youth participate. Nalokutsi singahlali tikhundleni Maswati when we are way past our time. Let's give them a chance to be able to come in and work. What do we want as ICT, as a ministry? We're going to give you a short-term, medium-term, and long-term strategy. What we want is to ensure, Gutsi, in the next 5 years, we are the most digital country in the world. That in the next 5 years, we are able to be living with parastatals and departments that are self-sufficient. I mentioned earlier, Gutsi, we are only 1.7 of the budget. The budget is not going to grow that much more tremendously. So we've got to find ways to be self-sufficient. And I believe that the smart people working in the organizations are going to be able to do this. And we're going to have to be able to use these parastatals and ourselves as a ministry to attract investments, both local investments and international investments. We need to have parastatals that work. I am so sad sometimes when I travel the length and breadth of the country and the complaints I hear about our parastatals. We have to hang our heads in shame. There's been some serious misbehavior, some serious lack of delivery, and some serious taking advantage of certain things. We must change that. We must clean them up. We've got no other option because we can't go forward without them being cleaned up. We must ensure that we give them the resources that they require. So what are we doing? We've now started an audit throughout all of government that's not been done before, where we look for every single ICT piece of equipment and software so we can have an understanding, Gutsi, what's available. You'll understand when they present the strategy to you, Gutsi, why is it important? We want to ensure that we use what's available for every ministry, for every department, for every parastatal. Let's share it amongst other departments so that we are able to plan wisely. We want to ensure that there is proper financial management. We need CFOs that are actually CFOs. We need people who actually know how to make and plan and be able to look after Timali, Tahulumende properly. We need to ensure that we continuously protect what we have and continuously support the various departments. Let me take you department by department of what we want to do in the next 18 to 24 months. EPTC, which is led by Mr. Kumalo, who I believe is here today, is trying to lay copper, and they're stealing the copper. And it's inside jobs. Let's just be clear. So, so what we have said is we want to lay fiber optic, but we can't lay the fiber optic with the budget that we have. So we've gone out to raise money, and I believe we've got the money. To lay, I don't think he even knows, to lay the fiber optic throughout the entire country. To ensure, Gutsi, we strengthen the backbone of fiber in the country. To ensure, Gutsi, the things that we complain about, Gutsi, bandwidth, my calls are dropper, and the plans we have for the future have a backbone and a bandwidth that can sustain them. We've also had issues with pension funds, situations. And Mr. Kumalo, I am happy to tell you, I think I've found an answer to your problems. So, but we're going to do it. We've also looked to see, how do we keep it alive? Because globally, liyafa. And so we are looking to be able to ensure, we make the EPTC the infrastructure leader in the country. There are some ideas and some plans and some investments that we will put into EPTC in the next 18 months that will change it like it's never been seen before. So that's important. We want to make sure, they are the ones responsible for giving government emails. It's a shocking thing, but you all don't have government emails. We also want to ensure that we strengthen their courier services, both for government as well as the entire business sector of Eswatini. We want to strengthen some of the specialists in EPTC to ensure, we start to lead the organization in a manner of creating a future organization. You will see also in the strategy, we're going to be using the post offices to deliver our 5-year strategy so that they have relevance. We're going to have to retrain and reskill some staff within the post office because the skill that they may have now will certainly not be attractive or efficient for the future. Then I come, and the last thing, by the way, is to ensure, we run EPTC in a financially responsible manner to ensure that we get clean audits and we are always responsible with every langeni that we are given. When we move to RSTP, which can really be an engine room for growth, there is no reason why after 14 years it's still not making money. There's no reason why after all this time it's still looking for subventions from government. That's a shame. Ngoba inkosi yathi nayihamba ibuyisa le RSTP. Yacabanga ukuthi by now it was supporta wonke uhulumende with the money. And he wasn't wrong. It really should. So we've got to work very hard to ensure that it succeeds. We've put in a strong board. We are going to be in the market to look at putting a strong C-suite. Strong executives are always important. We also want to ensure, we start bringing in investors. And that's going to need you as lawmakers, So my SEZs. Is it really attractive and practical to bring in the big time investors that we want? Is it really attractive to ensure they get a bite at the apple? Because sometimes when we're looking at investments, you focus only on the international people. So even the locals want to invest, want to grow, want to be able to nabo be employers of the local people. We want to ensure also uthengwa with the real price, not the 10 times price. We have found a lot of that toys or buildings we must be responsible with the money we're given. And so we are going to be looking at all these things. So ntakuva nhlete parliament ukuthi sebasukile ke sebayobuka. You cannot go forward without understanding what happened in the past. So you can do better. So that will be done. You will hear ukuthi you want to find out kulama parastatals what is happening ngale mali. Ngoba siyayikhipha but ayineli but ubathi uyabala phela mina I've been in business for a long time normal. Le mbalana is more than enough. So let's look at what's going on there. We also have to be able to develop the biotech center and bring in those investors. At the center, RSTP, we're going to need, I think, even as an entire ministry, our own power. Because once we attract Bantu who are investors, who want to store their information, we can't have even 1 second of power going down. It distorts the information and then ban a problem. We must also ensure nitangbuta nje parliament ukuthi how le stake kwende njani why ningakhi stake. I'll give you a bit of an answer. There's a global move ukuthi when you build data centers you don't build them lapho mpata ukhomba khona ukuthi ilapha. Because if ungafika umkhuhlane njengoba wakhona nga21 a person only has to go to that center then we have nothing. So it's not only a place of storing information, you must also look at things to ensure that the information is safe. TV, we really have to look at local programming. We really have to make Banbaga TV basugume bayothola imali. The days of subventions and only subventions, as I've mentioned to them, are over. We must make good local programming. We must understand afunani, and we can make local, inexpensive programming and ensure we make money from the productions as well as from advertising. We must make sure that the TV network is financially responsible. We must clean up the books. We must make sure that we get clean audits. It is not going to happen going forward. Kutsi ema accountants ati, the books are not clean. It just cannot continue. So we need strong CFO participation, and as a ministry, we'll definitely get involved because so we must know what's happening and how it's happening. We must bring in other entertainment positionings and sign partnerships with various institutions to ensure ukuthi ESTV iyachubeka nekuthi ne radio iyachubeka. As we look to merge them, they must ensure ukuthi babang2 they're able to bring in revenue. And we've been working on getting those partnerships in various parts of the world. And once we get them, we'll come back to you and tell them ukuthi they've been sealed. ESCOM, our regulator, we're looking for them to be more effective, to work with us in ensuring ukuthi imithetho, whether ngumthetho of how we deal with the telecoms or the ISPs or data people, ukuthi globally acceptable. We must make laws that attract and stimulate the economy and not make laws that take away from us. Of course, we're going to share and look at what the international counterparts are doing, but we must always think of Eswatini first. Singathengisi bantu ngabaskopa ukuthi how other people are doing it, kanzi it's not to our benefit. We must ensure ukuthi we look at our own laws that will ensure ukuthi Eswatini they participate. I would like to be able to say, ukuthi we're going to be coming to you with quite a few laws. We're going to be looking at the issue of what do we do with people who steal copper? What do we do with people that steal critical infrastructure or destroy it? We need to have a law that punishes that. We need to have a law that enables us to lead in the issues, as I said, of SEZs. We must have a law that ensures ukuthi we are also able to do MRPPPs effectively. We're going to need your support there. We're going to have quite a few laws that we really are going to ask Gutsi, Nisite, Gutsi, Sikone Gutsi, we can move forward. We are also trying to introduce some change management. I talked about working until 8. I'm not trying to get all of government to work until 8. I know that's not nabaga public service bangangbopa. But we must, if we don't change, honorable members, if we continue with the approach to life that someone owes us something, someone's going to come and save us, I am the first to tell you no one's coming. We are our own saviors. If we're going to come at things, I've got news for you. You are the government. It's your tax money that you are wasting. If we come at things, it doesn't matter. We are the government. We are stealing from ourselves and our children. And the legacies we leave are very unfair and untidy because sine askatoli kunjalo. We found good schools, we found good infrastructure. We must improve on that. So we'd like to be able to create teams that think that way. Good leadership, strong leadership, people who work with dignity. And I'm not sitting here saying I'm going to change government, but I am standing here to say it'll be a hard 5 years. They're not going to like us. They're not going to talk well about us, but we're going to change some things. We're going to make some things happen. So, nabatosceba sesintela nje in advance, vele le ncola sitayipusha. Le bhasi ifuna istarte. We must get to the 21st century. We must be part of the 5th industrial revolution. And as a Maswati, we must lead it in the continent. So I stand here to say, the starting point is to believe. The second point is to want. The third point is to have a crazy mind like me, where you see beyond the wall. The fourth point is to have support from the lawmakers. And the fifth point is to always keep eMaswati in mind. Is what I'm doing going to ensure that eMaswati get a better future? And that's why part of our strategy is to ensure we are bringing in the young people. Let's ensure if we've got 70% of our population younger than 35, that it doesn't make sense. It's not good. Your participation, honorable members, is so important. Please don't look at this strategy today, Kutsi. It's cast in stone. We have brought it to you having put in everything we can to this point. It's your strategy. You have to defend it amongst your colleagues. But we want you to see where we're going with the first world. It's not everything, but it's a lot. It will absolutely change this country. We'll be talked about in a different manner. We'll be seen as leading in being a future country. We're not building a smart city. We're building a smart country. And no one has a smart country now. And because we are such a small population, we can get there quicker. All we need is a coalition of the willing and the able. And I'm certainly willing and I'm certainly able. And I hope you will join me on this crusade. I thank you for your time.
Kude lesinye isikhathi ngaphandle kwalesi.
Aba research bafunze.
Being risky means ukuthi nalokuwa kwayo kulula.
Nathi kufuna sente ukukhicita lokusemndeni.